Hey guys, welcome to today's video and welcome on into my beauty stash. Today we're going to talk about 10 times that the drugstore beat high end. And I know they've beat them more than 10 times, but I like to narrow things down for you guys. So I'm going to be sharing with you 10 of my favorite holy grail drugstore makeup products. These products have definitely outperformed high end time and time again, and I think they're definitely worth adding to your stash in case you don't have some of them already. Guys, if you're wondering about the makeup, I did film it already. This is actually a full face of drugstore makeup. It was my full face trying new and new to me Revlon makeup, so definitely check that video out in case you're curious how I achieved this look. But as usual, guys, I'll have everything linked and listed in the description box that we're going to be talking about today, and some of those links might be affiliate links, so if you do end up shopping through them, thank you so much for supporting me on my channel. And if this is your first time here, let me just say hello and welcome to all of you, and let me invite you guys to be part of our makeup family. Do me a favor, click on that subscribe button, hit the bell next to it, that way you can be notified every time I do drop a new video. And if you're a fan of drugstore makeup, or you just want to see what made my top 10 list, give this video a thumbs up before you go. Let's get started, guys. If you all want to see the 10 times 10 products that beat high end every single time, keep on watching. Okay, so this video was a little hard because I definitely could have included more than 10 products because I have a lot of holy grail makeup products. You guys have seen me use a lot of drugstore makeup here on my channel, and I reach for certain things from the drugstore more often than I do from high end. So let's start first with a setting powder. A setting powder that has been around, I think, longer than we all have. I'm talking about Coty Airspun. So this is their translucent extra coverage powder. It's in the shade 070. Now they also have one that's more just plain translucent. It's not going to add any coverage. So there's two different versions. It comes in a few different shades, but you can always find Coty Airspun at pretty much any drugstore, supermarket, in the drugstore section at Ulta Beauty, I believe. Is it there? It might be there. You can find it on Amazon. I've had this in my stash for so long. I remember my grandma using this powder. It just, you know, there is a scent to it. I think it goes away rather quickly, and I don't mind the scent. It's very reminiscent of, you know, when I was growing up and looking at my grandma's vanity and everything. This was always on there, and this just provides a little bit more coverage, but it smooths everything out, and it does a great job of controlling the oil on my 41-year-old normal to oily skin. And the fact that it's remained $5, $6 all these years is 1935. There's the year. Since 1935. Well, I'm sure it's gone up in price since, but it's still affordable. It's still affordable, and it still works, and the packaging is still the same. I mean, how many makeup products do you have in your stash that we can say that about? So next up, we have makeup primers, and I'm going to spotlight e.l.f. because I think e.l.f. makes some pretty awesome makeup primers, and they have different versions, different finishes, different formulas, and that's why I'm putting them in this top 10 list. So out of all the putty primers are not my favorite, but this one is. This is the Acne Fighting Putty Primer, and although I don't suffer from acne anymore, I used to. I grew up with really bad acne. I still have, you know, scars on the sides of my cheeks, and I have discoloration. I grew up with really bad acne, and it didn't get itself under control until like my mid to later 20s. This is a nice hydrating primer without making me excessive oily, and it also does a good job at neutralizing the redness that I have on my complexion. I'm mainly like red on my nose and a little in through here. I don't have a lot of redness anymore, thank goodness, but out of all the e.l.f. putty primers, this is definitely my favorite one. I love that they came out with a great gripping primer that also helps to brighten the complexion. Now, there are two different versions of this one. There's the original Power Grip, which really doesn't provide any kind of a brightening effect. And then they have this one with niacinamide. This is the newest one. I feel like this one is going to be better for those of you with normal skin to dry skin. And then the original Power Grip is going to be better for those of you with normal to oily or full on oily. But you definitely gotta have a gripping primer in your stash. If you live in a hot, humid climate like I do down here in South Texas, I mean, that makeup will just melt off of you, especially if you're maybe in a work environment where you're around a lot of heat, humidity, maybe you're always going indoors and outdoors, you know, whatever the case. This is a really good product from e.l.f. And then the third one I pulled out is their newest primer that I absolutely love this one. This is a really good primer. This is the Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I don't like the original version. That's a putty primer like this one, but I love this one. I am here to tell you this is one of my new favorite primers. It kind of just blurs and smooths out the complexion, and everything I put on top of it looks goals. Like, I just love it, and everything is super affordable. I think all of these primers are definitely less than $10. They're probably between the $7 and maybe $8 price point. So if you haven't tried any new e.l.f. primers, or maybe you haven't tried any e.l.f. primers at all, let this be your invitation to do so ASAP. Now let's talk about foundation, and a brand that I think does foundation so well, at least, you know, for me and my 41-year-old normal skin, is Catrice. Now, Catrice is, how do I want to say this? They used to be in drugstores, okay? They used to be in the drugstore section at Ulta. Right now, you can only get Catrice, at least here in the United States, on Amazon and on the Catrice website. So I would order either from either one of those retailers. I think over in Europe, where the brand originated, I think you can find this in your local drugstores, you know, across the pond. But here in the US, we got two choices when it comes to Catrice. But I think these are definitely worth putting on this list, because these foundations are both between $10 and $12 each. Let's start with the first one here, because this was the first one that came out. This is the new and improved formula. This is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. It says it lasts up to 24 hours. I would hope none of you have to wear your foundation for 24 hours, but it says it's mattifying, water and sweat proof, and it is formulated with niacinamide. That is new for this product. I have a review over this and compared it to the original. You know, this one performed just as great, if not better. I like this foundation a lot. It's definitely full coverage. It's very serum-like, and it does have like that dropper style applicator. So what I do is I just put it on the back of my hand and then just get it with a brush and apply it that way. But it's definitely full coverage, and it definitely gets you a good 10 to 12 hour wear. I don't find this to be extremely mattifying though, and you can always, you know, change that up with whatever primer and setting spray you go in with as well. So if maybe you're a little hesitant to buy a full-on matte foundation, I really wouldn't worry about that with this one. I don't feel that complete matte foundation feel like I do with some other mattifying foundations. This one is more of like a soft matte finish, and I love that, and I love the price, everything. The other foundation that they have, which went viral, this is the Catrice True Skin Foundation. This is going to be more medium, buildable full coverage. I think this is a solid medium coverage foundation. This is going to be for those of you, well, I'm normal to oily and I love this, but for those of you with normal to dry or full on dry, I think you're going to like this one a little bit more than this one over here. This one does contain hyaluronic acid. It is going to be long wearing, and this one does come with a pump. I've had this one in my stash for the last 2-3 years now. It's been a fantastic foundation, and again, it holds up all day long. I don't really need to babysit any of these foundations. You know, if I'm not doing a foundation review or wear test, I will touch up my makeup at least once, like do a blot or add some powder or something like that. But that's it. I'll just do that once throughout the day. But I've reviewed both of these. I love both of these. They're very, very affordable and they're really good products. So if you haven't tried Catrice, now's the time to do so. And in case you didn't know, Catrice is the sister brand to Essence, which leads me to my next product. How many of you guys have tried Essence mascaras? I know a lot of you have. You have to. These are $4 to $6 at the drugstore. You can find them in the drugstore section at Ulta. You can also find them on their website. I was given a code for Essence. Yes, I am so excited. So my affiliate code, Steff's Beauty Stash, that will give you 10% off of your order on the Essence website. So in case you want to order anything, which I definitely recommend checking out their mascaras, they have so many different styles of mascara. They have mascaras that are going to be lengthening, that are going to be curling, volumizing. They have different styles of wands. They have the typical plastic wand, and then they have, you know, just so many different styles. You don't need to spend $20, $30, $40 on a mascara. I used to be one of those. Growing up, when I was in high school and when I was in my 20s, and you have to remember, I started working when I was 16 years old. I was making my own money, and so what I earned is what I spent, right? So I loved makeup, and I spent a lot of my money on makeup, and I was always one of those people that was like, no, I'm only buying a Lancome mascara, or I'm only gonna buy this and this mascara because I didn't think the drugstore offered any good alternatives. And you know what? Maybe at that point in time they didn't, but now they do. And I'm here to tell you these Essence mascaras are fantastic. My favorite right now, and this made my July favorites list, is this one right here in the lime green yellow tube. This is the Lash Like a Boss Instant Lift and Curl mascara. So my lashes have length to them because I've been an avid Revitalash user for 5 years now. That is such a long time, but Revitalash does work. I need curl. I need something that's gonna hold a curl. Now, every now and then I'll go get a lash perm. I'm due for one. I've been trying to go, just haven't had the time to go, but I'm gonna go pretty soon, just so I can have like that curl to my lashes, and that'll help the mascara wear better. But this one right here is my favorite to date. It doesn't flake, it doesn't smear, it doesn't smudge, and for $5, you cannot beat this one. Next up, I want to talk about setting sprays. And I know setting sprays might be a step that some of you don't do in your makeup routine. I am going to recommend that you guys start doing your setting sprays once you're done with all of your cream products. So maybe you wear cream bronzer, cream blush. Once you're done with all of that, before you put on any powder, go in with your setting spray. Make sure it dries down, then go in with your setting powder. That's a technique I picked up from Rose and Ben over on Instagram. She provides amazing makeup tips and she showcases it so well. I love watching her. I learned so much from her, but that is one technique that I learned from her and it's been working for me great. So my two setting sprays, must-have setting sprays in my opinion from the drugstore, are these right here from NYX. These have been in my stash. They've been repurchased time and time again, but these are this one is the dewy finish, and then this is the matte finish. I tend to go more for the matte finish, especially because I'm a normal to oily skin type, but I don't feel like it leaves my skin matte. Like I feel like it just locks in the makeup and helps to prolong the wear. I find that this is very similar to one of my holy grails, Urban Decay All Nighter. I love that one. I've used that one for so many years. I've used that one longer than I have this NYX one. But if you're looking for a good dupe, an alternative, a cheaper option, for the Urban Decay All-Nighter, I would definitely check this one out. And if you want something that's going to give you a glow, or you want to combine them both, because I also do that. So like I'll spray the matte one right here in the center, the T-zone, and then I'll do the glow one right here on the perimeter of my face, and it looks really good. And these are only like between $8 and $10 each, and they also come in mini sizes and jumbo sizes. Now let's talk about concealer, and this concealer right here from Flower Beauty. Flower Beauty is Drew Barrymore's brand, is Aces. This is easily one of the best concealers that I've ever tried at the drugstore. This one and the one from Honest Beauty. The Honest Beauty makes a beautiful concealer as well, but this one is a little bit cheaper. This one you can find at CVS. You can also find it at Ulta. I don't know if the Flower Beauty website has opened up yet. They did shut it down because they were redesigning and everything, but this the Get Real Serum Concealer is definitely worth checking out. I would like to see them release more shades of it. The shades I have are Fair and Ivory. I get more use out of this one right here, Fair. This is more my skin tone. Ivory is a little too light. It's more of a brightening, like under eye concealer for me, but it is so serum-like. It is so lightweight. It is hydrating. This is one of those concealers that can go either way, with powder or without powder. It does a good job of spot concealing what I need to on the sides of my cheeks, and I just love it. I've always had a really good experience no matter what foundation or powder that I pair with it. Like, I'll know a setting powder doesn't work if I try it with this, because this has worked with so many. And so if I encounter a new setting powder and it doesn't sit well on top of this concealer, I know it's the powder and not the concealer. So I would definitely recommend checking out Flower Beauty in general. Flower Beauty makes a lot of amazing products, and they're good quality products at an affordable price point. But my favorite right now has got to be this Get Real Serum Concealer. Now we're gonna move on to highlighter. You don't need to spend $36, $34 for a single highlighter. And I'm saying that because that's what I just paid for the latest one from Too Faced. That whole Cosmic Crush or Cosmic Catastrophe collection, as I like to call it. But in that Cosmic Crush collection, they released a highlighter, pale gold highlighter. Actually, it came in 2 different shades. I got the lightest one, the pale gold, but that was like $34, $36 for one highlighter. Granted, yes, it's a nice packaging, I'll give it that. You don't need to be spending no $36 on a highlighter. Go out to eat, go have a good time, go get a manicure, go get your nails done for that. Spend $5 or maybe less and get yourself some Wet n Wild highlighters. Wet n Wild does highlighters so well, and they have different finishes. Yes, they have some that are blue, purple, and they have glitter in them, but then they have these that are more smooth, and it's just shimmer, it's just glow. There's no glitter particles in them. This one right here is the shade Botanic Dream. This one, I'm gonna swatch them for you. I like swatching these today. This one is gonna be more of like a light pink, a pink silver highlighter, and these just last. Look at that. So beautiful. This next one I have is called Precious Petals. This is going to be more of a gold peach highlighter. This one is, I'm trying to see if it's similar to that Too Faced. This one I think is a little darker than that Too Faced one, but not by much. Look at that. Just smooth. There's no glitter, there's nothing like that, and it's a nice little imprint. I know it's just your basic plastic packaging, but you don't want, or how do I want to say this? Don't care so much about the packaging, especially if you're not, I mean, not many of us are going to be taking our highlighter with us to touch it up throughout the day. We mainly take like our pressed powder and maybe a little brush, or we take our eyebrow pencil or whatever it is. I would never like take my highlighter or my bronzer with me to touch it up during the day. So nobody's really gonna see the packaging, you know. This next one is gonna be more peach. This one is called Balloon Time. But obviously, you know, packaging has to be to a minimum because this is a $5 product. But there you can see right here, like a peach gold. I just think they're all so beautiful. I've always had such a beautiful experience, such a good experience with the Wet n Wild highlighters. And usually around like the holidays, for example, Halloween, they have that what is it, the fantasy collection that comes out, and so they're always releasing a lot of fun colors for the Halloween season, and you can always see the displays at Walmart. Like they usually have a big setup, and that's when you can get like the purples and blues and greens, like those duo multi-chrome type of highlighters that have those shifts in them. But don't sleep on these Wet n Wild highlighters because Wet n Wild does highlighter. They do a lot of things really well. And shout out to the Breakup Proof liquid eyeliner, which I didn't have room to include in today's video, but that is my honorable mention, the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof liquid eyeliner. It's a pen style eyeliner. Now they made a skinny version. That is definitely worth checking out, and so are these Wet n Wild highlighters. So since we're on the subject of cheeks, let's talk about bronzer. My go-to bronzer for so many years when it comes to the drugstore, and I think if I could only live with one bronzer for the rest of my life, it would be Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So this is my old one. Look at that pan in it already. This one I keep it up here for in case I'm wearing a cream bronzer and then I powder over it and I need to just kind of touch up the bronzer, bring it back to life, in particular on my nose. That's why I keep this one up here. But they've already kind of repackaged this, so I need to get myself a new one, but this one is still working, so that's why I haven't. I did pick up their new matte bronzer, although I do feel this is matte, but with a subtle glow. Okay, so it's matte with a subtle glow. There's definitely no shimmer, no glitter in it. But if you want something that's going to definitely be full on matte, then this is the one to get. They come in different shades. They did add more shades of the traditional butter bronzer, which I was happy to see that as well. This shade that I have here is called Sunkissed. And I have two of these. I actually have a review over this as well. I'm going to have my drugstore playlist linked in a pinned comment, but you can never go wrong with Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Like, it's just been that staple in my stash for so many years, and like I said, if I could only wear one bronzer for the rest of my life, it would definitely be Physicians Formula, the OG Butter Bronzer. Now for blush, a brand that I think does some of the best, if not the best blushes at the drugstore, Milani. We got to give it to them. Milani has different formulas of their blush. They have these right here, which are my favorite. These are their baked blushes. These tend to have more of a little soft glow to them. The shade that I have here, this one is shade, is it Carolina? Carolina, yeah. This is a beautiful orange with a little bit of gold in it, and you'll see what I mean about the glow. You see that little slight shimmer in it, and if you don't like that, don't worry. They have their rose petal blushes, and those are matte. I have those as well. They also have cream blushes, and I want to say they have, do they have liquid? They might have liquid blushes now. I don't remember. This other shade that I have over here, this one is called Bellissimo Bronze. And these were some of their latest shades. These came out, was it last year or the year before last? You can see right there. Look how beautiful they are. it just gives the skin, especially if you don't like to wear, maybe you don't wear bronzer. I haven't been wearing my bronzer on my cheekbones. I've been kind of just stopping like right here by the temples and just keeping it to the forehead and to the nose. And I've been really playing up my blush. Like that was the thing I wanted to do this year, and I've been loving it. You know, some of you have noticed I wear a bolder blush now. I like the way it looks on me, and I like playing with blush. Blush has become one of my favorite makeup products to apply this year, and when it comes to applying and playing with Milani blushes, I love them. I can't get enough. They're about $8 at the drugstore. Of course, if you go to Ulta, you can use your Ulta coupon. But I would definitely check out Milani when it comes to blush for affordability, dependability, and for just all these beautiful colors and finishes. And last but not least, brow products. Now, like mascara, I used to think that I only had to buy high-end brow products. Like those were the only things that were going to work. And yes, there are some high-end brow products that I do love. I do like the new Rare Beauty Precision Brow Pencil. That whole component, like it has a nice weight to it, but it also lasts. Like Selena Gomez created a beautiful product with that new Precision Brow Pencil. I love the Urban Decay Brow Blade because it's a precision pencil on one side and it's a marker on the other. And those are the two things that I use to do my brows. I use a precision pencil and I use a brow marker, and that's it. If I want to be extra, I'll throw some brow gel in there, but I don't have a lot of brow hair to begin with, so that's why I kind of skipped that step. And then I also like the It Cosmetics brow pencil. I've used that one probably the longest out of all of them, but as of the last 4 years, 5 years maybe, NYX has been my go-to. NYX and Milani, but we're going to talk about NYX since we just talked about Milani. So NYX has a precision brow pencil. This is the micro brow pencil. I have like all the shades. I have Auburn for when I go red. I have Taupe. This one's Brunette. I have another shade. Is it soft brown or medium brown? I forget what it is. And then the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen. I didn't used to like this. Like this took me a little while to warm up to. At first I found like it kind of faded away, but then I found, I guess I was using too light of a shade. I needed to use a little bit of a darker shade, and then it went on perfectly. I'm actually using this one right now along with a Revlon eyebrow pencil, a precision eyebrow pencil. I have shade Brunette in this one, but like I said, I have a lot of other shades, and it's just a pen. It's just a pen style, and that's what I use to just draw like those hair-like strokes. So I'll use the pencil first to define the shape, and then the pen to define, you know, the brow hairs. Make it look like I have a full brow, even though I don't. I've always suffered from thin, sparse brows, but that's my brow routine, and it doesn't need to be expensive. NYX always goes on sale at Ulta. I think each of these products are $10 or less, and they're definitely worth checking out, especially when NYX goes on sale for like buy two get one free or buy one get one half off. That's the time to pick up and to restock on your holy grails from the brand. And for me, these two products, they're always going to be in my stash. They travel with me. They get the job done at an affordable price point. Okay guys, so those are my 10 drugstore products that beat out high-end every single time. Like I can totally depend on these products. If these were the only products that I had to live with for the rest of my life would be made. I would be perfectly content. But these are products that have been tried and true and tested in my stash for a number of years. I absolutely love them. Let me know your thoughts. Did some of your favorites make my list? What are some of your holy grail drugstore makeup products? Let's get the conversation started in the comments down below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water. Cheers. And I'm going to see you all very soon. Bye.